There's something about stealth that I find extremely compelling. The thought of sneaking in through a window or crawling through a vent, avoiding or incapacitating a guard as you make your way to your target, only to mess it up at the last second, alerting everyone in the area and ending in some big Rambo-style shootout and then turning down the difficulty. It's addicting, exciting, and when you finally pull it off, you feel so badass. Now, I get that stealth isn't for everyone, but for me, it's such a fun style of play, be that with daggers, silencers, or something else, and that suspense and accomplishment you feel from it just can't really be replicated by other types of media the way a big bombastic shootout can. And since we're on the subject, here are 5 stealthy games for sneaky people. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Developed and published by Konami back in 2004, you are Naked Snake, a member of a covert division of the CIA known as Fox, sent into a secret base within a jungle in the Soviet Union to find a Russian scientist known as Anton Sokolov. Directed by Hideo Kojima, MGS3 has taken lots of inspiration from Western media, from James Bond spy thrillers, 80s action films like Rambo, and various other genres. Gameplay was originally similar to previous titles, using a top-down view and similar button layout along with an open-ended level design for optimal sneakiness. But upon the release of a special edition titled Subsistence, there was a massive improvement that came with it, and that was that they finally added in a 3D controlled camera, which made the controls feel a lot more natural and less restrictive. Snake can find weapons, equipment, and cardboard boxes throughout the game to aid him in sneaking past patrols, taking out guards, and chilling with the fresh produce. Although receiving mixed opinions, there was also a camouflage mechanic that lets you know how well you are blending into your environment, with new costumes and camouflages able to be found throughout the game. As I've mentioned before on this channel, I love the Metal Gear series, and Snake Eater is absolutely the best one, and many other people agree. MGS3 is cited as one of the greatest video games of all time. It has so much personality condensed down onto one game. It's funny, tense, heartwarming, and heartbreaking, all at the same time, breaking the fourth wall to poke jabs at itself from previous titles in the series, pitting you against some of the most unique bosses ever seen, and creating some of the most memorable scenes to ever grace a video game. If you were either too young to play this when it came out, or it's somehow just flown under your radar, then you need to at least consider it. Especially with the current gen remake announced, and the recent release of the Master Collection, there's never been a better time. Splinter Cell Double Agent. Developed and published by Ubisoft back in the days before most of their games were exactly the same, you are Sam Fisher, a special agent working for 3rd Echelon, a Black Ops division of the NSA. After finding out about the death of his daughter, Sam understandably goes into a bit of a spiral, and Colonel Lambert, who clearly isn't an expert on grief or mental health, has the brilliant idea to make Sam work as a double agent to infiltrate a domestic terror organization known as the JBA, where you have to balance your approval of both the NSA and JBA through various side objectives throughout the main story, with this sense of moral ambiguity really adding depth to the narrative. There were 2 separate versions of Double Agent released for the previous and at the time current generation of consoles, with the PS2, Xbox, GameCube and Wii version made by Ubisoft Montreal, and the PS3, Xbox 360 and PC version made by Ubisoft Shanghai. But for this video I'm focusing on the PS3 and 360 version, as it's the one I've played. Like the Splinter Cell games before it, gameplay is in a third-person perspective, with a heavy focus on the use of shadows to stay hidden from the enemy and gadgets to aid you in sneaking around, like Sam's now famous night vision goggles or the use of sticky cameras and EMP grenades. Each level features various environments and obstacles for you to encounter, testing your skills constantly while you complete your goals. Now, my first Splinter Cell was Pandora Tomorrow on the original Xbox, and for as much as I loved it, I absolutely sucked. I eventually got better and didn't need to save scum as much, but personally, I'd say it managed to remain one of the consistently more difficult games in the stealth genre, which although can be taken as a negative, makes it so much more rewarding at the same time. At the time of recording, a Splinter Cell game hasn't been released for 11 years, which is an absolute crime. With the capabilities of current hardware, this series is absolutely begging for a reboot or remake. Hitman, World of Assassination. Developed by IO Interactive and published by Square Enix. Technically, this is actually a trilogy of games that work as a soft reboot to the franchise, but has since been rebranded so the third game comes with the previous installments and renamed to World of Assassination. You are Agent 47, a contract killer and cosplay enthusiast working for the ICA. You go to various locations throughout the world, taking out targets for someone only known as the Shadow Client. Now, to tell you the truth, the story isn't the best, but that's not what you play these games for anyway. The gameplay is why we're all here. As Agent 47, you have an absolute treasure trove of weapons and gadgets at your disposal to take out your target, from your trustworthy garrote and silenced pistol to explosives and flying briefcases. But even without your own tools, there's so many unique and interesting ways to take out your target just by listening to NPCs in the world, finding items within the world, and procuring yourself more and more ridiculous disguises. Your only limit in Hitman seems to be your own creativity, and the open-endedness of each level only works to enhance this creativity, making each area feel like a giant environmental puzzle, whether that's some high-tech facility, a fashion show, or the bustling Mumbai market. Even post-launch, IO Interactive have worked tirelessly to create this living, breathing world, listening to player feedback and tweaking or adding things in when needed. I enjoyed the earlier Hitman games like Silent Assassin or Blood Money, but I would never have really said I loved it. Until World of Assassination, that is. There's something so compelling about sneaking your way through a high security area, sticking a bullet in someone's back, or tossing them over a balcony and making your escape, while erasing any evidence you were ever there. And with so many ways to complete each contract, you can spend days just playing the same level over and over. That doesn't mean I'm a stranger to the frustration of getting caught and having my whole genius plan come crashing down around me, but that makes pulling it off so much more fun. Which is why Hitman, at least for me, is a top tier stealth game, especially in the current AAA space. Dishonored 2. Developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks, set in the fictional empire of the Isles. It follows the adventures of Empress Emily Kaldwin or her protector Corvo Otano as they seek to reclaim the throne from an evil usurper known as Delilah. Dishonored 2 offers an impressive array of stealth mechanics that allow the players to approach situations in a myriad of ways. Whether you prefer sneaking through the dark, using supernatural powers and becoming one with the shadows, or creatively exploiting the environment and carving up your enemies, the game caters to all preferences. Emily and Corvo possess unique abilities like Emily's Far Reach and Shadow Walk, and Corvo's Blink and Possession, which provides diverse approaches suitable for multiple playthroughs. And the game's difficulty is pretty spot on if you ask me, keeping players on their toes as they carefully plan each move, and the level design is nothing short of spectacular. Each location is meticulously crafted to offer multiple pathways and solutions, encouraging exploration and rewarding ingenuity. For example, the Clockwork Mansion and Stilton's Manor are iconic levels that dynamically change based on the player's interaction, creating unique stealth opportunities and challenges. These environments are not just backdrops, but integral to the gameplay. The game thrives on player choice, with every action having potentially huge consequences. There's a chaos system in the game where lethal and non-lethal playstyles impact the world and narrative. Stealth enthusiasts can complete the game without killing a single enemy, which significantly alters the storyline and ending, which gives a sense of weight and responsibility to your decisions. Set against a steampunk-inspired world, the narrative and atmosphere are captivating. The story weaves political intrigue, revenge, and supernatural elements beautifully, and the voice acting, sound design, and visuals combine to create an immersive experience that enhances the gameplay. All in all, Dishonored 2 stands out as a masterpiece in stealth games due to its flexible mechanics, intricate level design, impactful choices, and immersive storytelling. It's a game that rewards patience, creativity, and a sense of humour, because even murders need to come with a good laugh sometimes. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square Enix, you are the sci-fi James Bond, Adam Jensen.
a walking, talking Swiss Army knife of gadgets and gizmos, working as a double agent for the Juggernaut Collective to infiltrate TF-29, an anti-terrorist intelligence and response team for Interpol, in a bid to take down the Illuminati. Similar to Hitman, the story is good, but not great. It kind of flatlines near the end. But gameplay-wise, it's excellent. There's so many tools at your disposal to fool your enemies and get by without leaving a single trace, like gas grenades, hacking tools, trank guns, and of course, Adam's badass arm blades. Adam's augmented body allows him to build and customize a plethora of tools to give him the edge in all forms of stealth and combat situations. And the level design is so well thought out, featuring kind of linear sections, mostly for story missions, and hub worlds for you to explore in your downtime in between. The hub worlds, although small, are incredibly dense, with tons of secrets and items for you to discover, and heaps of backstory and side missions for you to explore. And even the more linear sections have an incredible open-endedness to them, with so many secret paths for you to find to reach your destination. The freedom offered to the player seems endless. Mankind Divided also puts a strong focus on player choice, with your actions and words in and out of the main missions having an impact on the overall narrative. To be completely honest, I've only ever really played Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. The original games are a bit too dated for me to go back to, although I have tried, but I think I'd recommend Mankind Divided over Human Revolution, but purely for the fact that it's the most recent, so it's easier to get a copy of it, and the improvements and features added make it feel more immersive, even if the story isn't the best. If I had to compare it to another game, I'd go with Dishonored, just with Cyber instead of Steam in front of the punk. So that's 5 stealthy games for sneaky people. Do you have a favourite game from this list? Let me know about it down in the comments. And if you know of any other really good stealth games, let me know about them too. And if you enjoyed this video, clicking like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video.